Welcome back, Jay Martin and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville making it possible. Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer, and Jason Martin. Ron Slay, of course. Didn't make it Tuesday, but he can make it on Friday.
Hey!
You know who's not going to make it to Saturday? Kentucky.
Say it again, Jason. Say it one more time.
Not making it to Saturday, the Kentucky Wildcats. The gates, St. Peter's was waiting at the gates and said no.
Oh. So let me ask you something, Jay. If I were to sit here and do this the whole time.
It's cold in the building always. So
Hey.
it's quite chilly.
Oh, it feels good. It feels so good.
Like Ray Charles.
All I need is my glasses.
What can I say about your basketball program that hasn't already been said about Afghanistan?
Bombed.
Hey, guess what though? Hey, guess what? Let me say this, man.
No, don't get on here being PC.
Hey, no. Let me say this. The funny thing is, when I made the video last night, Jay, I ain't even say nothing about Kentucky basketball. I didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Man, I started getting text messages. Hey, man, leave us alone, man. Hey, man, no, you ain't got to be like that. Y'all need to focus on who y'all got to play. We don't like y'all. We don't like y'all. Florida, we don't like y'all.
We don't like y'all.
Alabama, we don't like y'all.
Yeah.
Focus on
Georgia.
what we got to do. Georgia.
We don't like y'all.
Like, what do you not? Okay, listen. I'm all for in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You know, when it's the Final Four of it, you know,
Georgia,
who you wanted to
Alabama.
win. Yeah, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I chill for one of them. But in this scenario, I don't like you guys, okay? I mean, it's understood.
Yeah.
So don't text me saying, hey, man, y'all need to do this. Man, it's a rivalry. Y'all the only ones that don't understand it. Vanderbilt, it's a rivalry. As much as I want y'all to do good, Stackhouse, Shea Ralph, Clark Lee, I could care less if y'all get in a wheelbarrow and go down I-24 and hit every pothole and flip out. I don't
get
care.
back in.
And get back in and do it again.
They do need to get those things fixed. Though.
They do this bad.
Exit 259 now.
It's
Exit
real bad.
259 now. Come
Yeah,
on
It's
now.
not just
Check us
Vanderbilt
out.
fans who are hitting the pothole. I'm hitting the pothole.
But in a wheelbarrow
It's a little
with
different.
an anchor on it,
Come on,
it's a little
man.
bit different.
I'm just saying, man. But hey, boy, woo, man. Did they see? This is why I said though last week, going in these conference tournaments, this is my favorite time of the year, man. Just for the simple fact of it gives so many people hope, and when I say it crushes you
Yeah.
like this, because it is over. Like you don't get ready for one more tournament, you don't get one more like it is literally over, and you build up for 2 or 3 days, and then that climax is, I mean, good night.
But you said
And
it's a
if you're,
difference, though.
if you're a one and done program, then you're waving goodbye.
You know what I'm
to
saying?
People you barely even got to know.
Oh, it hurts. I'm telling you. Goodness.
Slay, it doesn't hurt.
No, it don't.
It feels really good.
It don't. It feels
You're
great.
popping bottles like A.J. Brown
man.
when he saw Devontae Adams' money
Man.
and Christian Kirk's money.
Christian Kirk's
Exactly.
money.
Kirk money now.
Kurt, yeah.
And ooh,
Yeah.
but when you're able to set that market, it's a beautiful thing to be patient.
It is.
Beautiful thing to be patient.
It is. It
Beautiful.
is, man. About this tournament, though.
Yeah.
By the way, you say you was going to mention something about what happened yesterday while we were watching the tournament. Go ahead, man.
Let me say this. First of all, thank you, Kentucky. Thank you. Reason being, you were able to steal the headlines one more time and put the focus back on March Madness. NFL, hey, man, this is, hey.
They own every day, every week, every
my
month, every year.
Hey, oh, my God. Like, I'm flabbergasted.
Tom Brady dunked all over the brackets. They're in the middle of bracket. This is hilarious. Y'all were on the road. Like, the bracketology special on ESPN that they prepare for all year that I love listening to Billis and those guys that
fun.
night breaking it down. They had to go to Adam Schefter on the phone in the middle of the bracket reveal
Hey, man.
for the Tom Brady information.
Hey, man, that is a different level, man. That's a different level, dude. Like, how does that happen? And then, okay, cool. Made it past that. Brady, you're welcome. Y'all stole it. It's cool. Now let's get into the tournament.
Tournament kicks off.
Man, we out there. Let's get this thing rolling, man. And lo and behold, somebody left the darn exit door open, and here come Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we got 12s getting upset by 5s and 5s. Like, it's like.
You know what's going to happen today, right? Deshaun.
Hey, man, if they
Or
do
this
that,
weekend. It may happen like Saturday or Sunday.
it's something that happened during the game, though,
It's
Jay.
going to happen either during the round of 32 or it's going to.
Hey, man, you know
Because
what?
it's pending right now.
Hey, you know what college basketball didn't do, Ron?
What?
Didn't lock the door.
They didn't lock the door.
There's no key.
Like, hey, man. Yeah. This is supposed to be about basketball, baseball cranking up, the Masters are right around the corner, then going to the NBA playoffs. Then let's talk about the draft in between.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, man, they want you to, like, what's the thing? Who said it? Logging off my life right now?
Wesley
I'm
West.
logging off of my life right now.
I'm gone. Hey, man, that is, hey, NFL, listen, y'all. Hey, man, there's got to be we got to draw some lines right here. There got to be some lines. Yes. There got to be some lines. The only person that love it here is Buck.
And the NFL.
Because it takes away from his
And the
misery.
NFL knows what they're doing. The NFL has set their calendar up to where they're still in Front Street no matter what else is going on.
Jay, I told Moan, I said, hey, man, we was sitting there watching it. I'm like, hey, man, dude, y'all are wrong. Like, y'all they led ESPN, Fox, everything with the story of the NFL. This is during March Madness. One of the biggest money makers of 365 of the year. Outside of the Super Bowl.
90% of the NCAA's annual revenue comes from this tournament.
Come on, Jason.
Which is unreal considering college football's importance. But this tournament is where they lost, I think, 30%, or maybe it's like 56% of the pandemic just nearly destroyed the NCAA because the tournament didn't happen that year.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, that's amazing to me, man. I've never seen nothing like this in my life, man. Never.
NFL, my bad, Savage.
Yeah, it only get worse. It can only get worse. With Deshaun Watson and all this, like, man, hey, man.
The truth. Last night I'm at dinner with David Reed, our good friend.
Shout out to Dave, man.
And we're having a conversation. We get an update on our phone about the Devontae Adams move, right?
Yeah.
Didn't get an update about Kentucky losing. I didn't know Kentucky lost till I got home.
That's a problem.
Devontae Adams, I knew like, bam!
That's a problem.
A 15 beat a 2, and it was Kentucky.
Man.
And some dude named Peter beat him. And I had to go home to find that out.
That's a shame, man. That's on billboards and everything when that happens, man. Like,
really?
golly, dude.
You like that? You like that?
Hey, man, but I was able to go live last night with a friend of mine that played for St. Peter's. Like, he led the NCAA in scoring back-to-back years. He's the number one leading scorer in St. Peter's history. Keidron Clark played with me overseas in Italy. And I was just asking him, though, man, it's funny to be able to talk to those guys knowing that the stage that they get on, how do they feel about being mid-majors and counted out and knowing that you're playing against a blue blood and you playing against the tradition of them and you thinking Ron Mercer, Derek Anderson, Antoine Walker, Walter McCarter, Rick Pitino, so forth and so on. And it was interesting to know that when he told me, man, this generation really don't care nothing about that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Tennessee going to play Michigan. A lot of them don't remember the Fab Five outside of Jalen Rose being on TV and Juwan Howard sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, Chris Webber's even forgotten about a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of the problems. I've always said that about Nebraska football. The reason why Nebraska football has such a hard time now is because the kids that are picking schools weren't alive when Nebraska was good.
Yep.
I'm old enough to remember the mid-'90s when Nebraska was it.
Right.
I mean,
But
truth
they're
be
not.
told, that's UT also. That's one of the main things
Exactly.
we fall into. Like, legitimately,
Exactly
but you got to have a spark that brings that light back.
Gotta get one
Nebraska
good
hadn't
coaching
had
hire
that.
that
Yep.
can bring you back.
Yeah, and that can take 10.
You want to talk about another one? What about Alabama?
Right.
Yeah.
Between Gene Stallings
Yes.
and Nick
Come on now.
Saban, it was a bunch of stuff that
Yes.
didn't work.
Come on now.
Yep.
And now,
Clemson was from
hold
Danny
up.
Ford to Dabo Swift.
Let's think even more recent though. Even more recent of like running the era. Let's think about Miami in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
For real.
And
Yeah.
now you
Scorching
can't,
hot.
Scorching hot. And now you're like, Miami?
Right.
Like, they still getting guys and putting dudes in the league. Florida State, another.
Yep.
It takes that right culture, the right wins, and the right just consistency of wins to get you back to the era. But great point by him. They be like, I don't care about you.
Yeah. Like, they not walking through that door.
In
You know what I'm
Indiana,
saying?
Indiana.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, it's different, man. And that's what the tournament is all about.
It is.
Giving that hope to these teams like this. Like, he told me last night, he said, man, honestly, this is my one shining moment right here.
Even not
You know
even
what
on
I'm
the
saying?
court.
No, and he came out in 06.
Wow.
I believe 06 or 07. So he was like, man, this is my one shining moment. I had his jersey on watching the game and everything. Like, that right there, that's how you ignite a fan base. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, now they would carry that. That's 10, 15, 20 years, and then plus the years after, it's always going to be mentioned. Just like you mentioned before the tournament started, it was some weeks ago, UMBC, when they upset.
when they beat Virginia.
Yeah, so that's right up there with MTSU doing that to Michigan State.
Yeah, it sure is. It's Santa Clara doing it to the 2-seed Arizona
There you
that
go.
year. And like, I think the key to it is, and look, Tennessee did what you're supposed to do yesterday to Longwood. Longwood played them tough for 8-9 minutes, and then Tennessee was just better.
Yep.
And put them in their place. When you watch Gonzaga play yesterday, this is the one that stood out to me. When Gonzaga got up 5 in the second half, dude went to the line off an and one. I said, okay, now it's a blowout.
Yep.
The only way for the 15 in that scenario to win is to just consistently not fall off.
Yep.
Because the minute they start to think they could lose, they get blown out.
Yep.
And what happened for St. Peter's is, from what I could see, Kentucky couldn't shoot.
No.
And they were challenged to shoot. They were like leaving them open to take shots.
Yep.
And St. Peter shot the ball well.
Yep. That's
and
what you need.
never fell behind to a significant degree where they could stop believing in themselves.
To talk to your point, I was watching the game and I left. I was at Party Foul and left.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, once I saw Severe Wheeler keep getting to this left hand and being able to get downhill, I was like, oh, they done found something. So you expect the team to take on over. Man, I got in that car, I was listening to it like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like what Jason is saying, they never folded. Like they kept fighting, and they shot the ball well. Like all of that has to come together, and that's what March Madness is right there, man. So to the Tennessee thing, salute to Tennessee for getting out there handling the business. Fulker played good. The guards played good. What we got to see yesterday was consistent play, carry over from the SEC tournament and the last 15 regular season games, even the loss to Texas. Because I felt like in that Texas game, something was figured out as far as defense goes, because they were in a 20-point hole. And they all said to a man after that game, we understand that if we play like we did these last 4 minutes, 8 minutes of this game, the entire game, we can control all the games.
Yeah.
So they carried that defensive mindset over. Josiah since then has been shooting the ball well.
Yes, he has.
And that's been the next factor. You know what I'm saying? Kennedy's been able to understand when to pick your spots and play ball.
And this other part you mentioned, too, when it comes to Vescovy, too. Getting him off the ball, letting him just create has been a huge addition to just his game in general. Having them two young point guards, man.
Yeah.
Boy, you got to hope that Barnes can do that recipe again.
Yeah.
With the guard, what was it, from Chat that's coming in real soon, too?
Yeah, no, from Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Knox Catholic, yep.
Okay.
BJ Edwards.
You hoping that him and Zakai can do the same thing?
Yeah, and I think so, man. BJ Edwards is a phenomenal player, man. Hat goes off there. I've been watching him since his freshman year. It's similar to I was watching Kennedy because I was coaching against him. So I've been doing scouting reports and everything. Like, dude, these dudes different. So one thing I don't like is when they have guys on here analyzing the game that haven't watched college basketball all year.
Talking
that
about
irritates.
Charles Barkley.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We
I
heard it.
love them talking about the NBA. I love Charles Barkley talking about anything, but it's very clear they don't
Like, come on, man.
have the
And the only
knowledge.
person I give leeway to is Kenny Smith. It's like Kenny does some homework to kind of round it off, and he'll talking generalities.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more so than
That's like he keeps tabs on Carolina,
right.
and so he knows a little bit about the ACC.
Yep.
That's enough to make him dangerous enough.
There you go. You're exactly right. And Barkley watches Auburn when they're about something.
Marquee
You know,
games and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. But outside of that, man, he ain't paying attention. Shoot, he barely pay attention to the NBA games. He just knows the game so well. And Ernie does a terrific job of tossing it up. And, you know, so, man,
What Chuck say yesterday, though?
Chuck told him that Kentucky. What was it?
I
Kentucky
didn't want to be disrespectful to Auburn, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
Yeah, he sure did.
But he picked. I'm picking Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm picking Kentucky to come out of the SEC.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very interesting.
That was pretty good.
I don't know if it was good or bad.
I thought it was good, though.
It wasn't bad.
I think we was torn in between. Like, we want to hear it one more time. Like.
A third of ESPN's brackets picked Kentucky
Wow.
to win it all. There are less than 200 brackets that are still perfect after one day of the NCAA tournament, and that's the Kentucky
amazing.
effect and it's the Iowa effect.
That's amazing.
I got caught because I always am down on the Big Ten because I think they're overrated because they play each other, right? And I picked Iowa in the Final Four like an idiot because I listened to Aaron Torres, who's usually good at these things.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he told me, he's like, they're built differently. They're faster this year. They're built more for March. And Richmond beat them, and they couldn't do anything against their defense.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I knew it, man. I knew better
Richmond
than to do
Spiders.
this.
I did pick Kentucky to go deep, but I had UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA going to the Final Four out of their bracket.
And they
which
barely won
they
yesterday,
did.
too.
They were losing. They should have lost their game. So they found a way to win, man. You always got to get past that first day, man. That first day is tough. But
Worried at all about Michigan?
you know what? Not the way. Okay, so listening to Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith was like, man, you got to be careful on that second day. You play a team that's not so inferior the first day, and then the second day you playing somebody that's different. So my thing is, going into this tournament, if you can play consistent on both ends of the floor and just be you'll be fine. I think that's what we saw in Tennessee yesterday. I think walking into this Michigan game is not a thing where they didn't play like themselves the day before. Just go replicate that.
Yeah.
Replicate the game before. The game before that. The game before that. Like, you're not changing anything. We don't need anybody to come off the bench and go for 40 or anything like that. So I think it'll be fine. Looking at Michigan, they top heavy. You know, if you can stop Hunter Dickerson, then you got a chance. Like, everything runs through him. The other kid, Houston, he's very good. Eli, I forgot Eli, the other guard, but they got those three guys. After that, if you can get them in foul trouble at any position, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. Like, they got guys coming off the bench that playing 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 7 minutes, and all that's good and everything to give your starters a rest. But what about when you're relied on for extra heavy minutes and maybe a scoring punch or to get in there and stop somebody? And the thing that I love that Tennessee does, they apply pressure on both ends. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you have somebody handling the ball that's not used to handling the ball for Michigan. And what about that ball pressure when you can't get it into Hunter Dickerson and you make him step out? And now you playing away from the basket. The reason they dominated yesterday, he was inside.
Yeah, he just dished it all day.
Yeah, and he did whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah,
so
it worked.
Yeah, and you put them in different spaces by getting the ball and running in transition on makes or misses and keeping the pressure on those guards. And we got Tennessee has this really going well for them right now. The ghost screen. The big man coming up to set the screen and faking it and just slipping on out and going back to the basket, which you give an open line drive to the basket to Kennedy Chandler, similar to how he got that dunk to open up yesterday. Yep. So I'm pleased with him. I think the defense locked in.
Well, let's talk after the break.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's talk after the break.
No break! Tennessee whiskey.
I don't think that's the ad we're gonna do.
Okay, my bad.
We'll see though. There's 5 minutes of commercial. It's possible. It's possible. We'll be right back. It's Jay Martin on 104.5 The Zone.